Hello, welcome to Country Stitchers. I'm Liz.
Hi, I'm Deb. I feel like we've said that before.
At least 3 times. But since we talked with you last, we've had strawberries out of your garden and lots of lettuce. That's really good.
Yeah, garden's doing great.
It is.
So good.
And we have a little rain today, which we really needed. We had a nice rain a couple days ago.
Yeah, Monday it rained. Yeah, it's great. Wonderful.
So our pre-summer is off to a good start.
Yes.
And I had a lot of stitching last week and a half. That was fun.
You did.
Yeah. And Deb came over and I think her mouth about hit the floor when she saw that she could see the floor in my craft room. And I asked her if she felt energetic. And so we actually finished arranging the furniture and she decorated the shelf for me. So maybe next time we'll be videoing from the craft room.
Yeah.
Close, oh so close.
Yes, oh so close.
But let's start with some comments and some
good.
emails from our viewers.
Sounds good. I'll start off.
Sure.
Okay. I want to say thank you to everyone who left left condolences for my Nana passing away. Thank you very much. It was very sweet. Cross my stitches. She said that she loves the bear that I made and that she looks like a Penelope. She heard me say that I didn't name her. So thank you.
Yeah, she does have that sort of old-fashioned name to her.
You just named her. Now she will forever be Penelope. Thank you. That was great. Lori, Once Upon a Stitch. Hi, Lori. She wanted to know if I used the call for colors in the words on my Jenny Bean sampler. Because she doesn't want to stitch the background around the words also. And yes, I did. But I did kind of pick out the darker shade of green. Some of the words
Isn't
get a
that
little...
one of the few ones you've used the call for colors on? Jenny Bean.
Yes, mostly. I only changed... there was one color I didn't have.
Okay.
Yes. So I did use that green color, but I kind of picked, you know how with the variegation, yeah, you can kind of pick through some of the darker parts. So, yes, I did. Audrey Patterson. That's funny, when I read your name, I know an Audrey Patterson, but she's a teenager in my son's class, so not the same Audrey, I'm sure. But she wanted to know if we subscribe to just one cross-stitch magazine, which would we suggest? And she is a beginner in cross-stitch. Liz and I both had the exact hands down response to this. It would definitely be the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. And I know it's not just cross-stitch, but it is jam-packed with so many amazing patterns every single time you get it. I mean, these are the ones you keep. You don't throw them out. You keep every issue. Vanna is always in here now with something that she has done. Her finishing, the way she describes things, it's just fantastic. But there's not only wonderful cross-stitch designs, but punch needle. And you might want to get into that or start that.
And
you know?
It's balanced. It's there's not a tendency one to the other. And that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I mean, hands down, I would say this is a must-have.
Yep.
Definitely.
It comes out quarterly.
It's one of my absolute favorites.
But it is worth waiting for each quarter.
I had to wait for mine. I kept seeing it on Instagram. You got yours?
I had it, and I texted Deb. I said, wait till you get this issue. Yeah. Every pattern appealed to me. Yeah. And she came over on Tuesday last week. She said, I didn't get mine yet.
No. And then every day I was checking the mailbox, and I still, it took, what, 4 or 5 days before I got mine. But it's here finally. So, yes, we would definitely suggest that one. Just Jenny. Thank you so much for your sweet comment. That was really nice that she said that we help her through some really crappy times.
Yes.
So that was really nice.
We're glad we could help.
Yes.
You, on the other hand, have helped us through some really crappy times too. You probably can't sense it on your end, but there are days where getting together to do this has been a really welcome day in both of our schedules and our time. It's a break for us too.
Well, and just the sweet comments also really help brighten our day and week, that's for sure. Quilter 2006. Thank you so much for letting me know that the design that my aunt stitched for me was a homespun elegance, and it was called the Amish 3, the Homestead. That was cool.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Diane Catoni. She said thank you very much for the explanation of the elongated cross stitch, and So you had a question. If if you were using that stitch in a row that wasn't divisible by 2, how would I go about doing that? And I'm glad you asked that, because when I used it in the grass for the knee-high by 4th of July, the sides kind of, you know, go down. It's not a perfect square. So I did have to compensate. And what I would do then is towards the end of it, I would throw in a regular cross stitch here or there. Because when I stitched that elongated cross stitch, they're not directly over each other, they're staggered. So that also makes it easier to throw in a compensating regular cross stitch here and there where you need it. Plus there's a lot of letters that you're kind of stitching around in that green section. So yeah, it still gives it a really cool look. It doesn't change the overall effect of it. Definitely that's what you would do. So you were spot on. You're right. That's what you would do. Liz, I think I have some more on your phone. So you want to...
Sure. We were going to go back and forth, but I'll jump in now.
Never mind, I'm going.
I wanted to say hi to Long Dog Stitcher. She sent me an email about the Dollar Tree labels, and I got back there this week because I only bought 4 pages, which is 16 labels, and my bins outnumber the labels. And I got there, and I went, because I couldn't find them.
Was Long Dog there?
No. No. But
did she come to our dollar store?
What happened was somebody was fronting the shelves and taking care of the stock, and instead of putting all the other labels back on their original pegs, they just picked up all the labels from what had fallen off and plugged them in front of the ones I had bought. So they were behind about 16 other sets of labels. And they're not identical in design to the ones I liked, but they were close enough, so I made sure I got another, I don't know, 5 or 6 pages of them. So.
Yeah. You know what else isn't there that I checked for? Those curtain rod rings that you...
oh, really?
Just the regular metal ones.
You couldn't find them?
Nope. The only thing they have are those fat plastic ones now.
You know, mine weren't in the bathroom section. They were hanging on an end cap.
Well, that would have been good information to know this. I gotta go back.
I'll go. I'll go. All right? I'll go.
Okay, fine.
All right.
Good.
Jeez.
If I whine enough.
Oh, that's funny. Then Serena Gonzalez, yes, thank you, said aloha from Hawaii.
Oh, aloha.
And I had to, it brought back the fact that my parents were married. Mom finished nursing school in Harrisburg. Dad had gone into the Army Air Corps. Then it divided into the Air Force and Army, and he was brought into the Air Force under their officers training program. And he had been assigned to Honolulu as his first assignment.
Ooh.
And they got married in December. Mom came back from Niagara Falls on their honeymoon, packed her bag, and flew to Hawaii by herself because Dad flew military flight. And she got off the plane not knowing who was picking her up, but that was their first assignment. And they had my sister there. And so my sister's born in Hawaii.
Wow.
And Mom got her first job there. And this is back in 1951. I didn't even know they had this classification in industry then. Mom was an occupational industrial nurse for Dole Pineapple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yes.
And I didn't even think they knew to use nursing staff for that capacity in industry, but I guess
cool.
Dole was kind of on the vanguard of things. But
yeah.
So Mom did that while she was over there.
That's awesome. I ate so many pineapples when I was in Hawaii. I gave myself ulcers. They were so delicious.
Yeah,
I couldn't stop.
I'll bet
so
they
good.
were. So anyway, thank you for that aloha.
Cool. Yes.
And Donna asked me where I got the bunny bag that I had my Blackbird design piece in. And that was from So Much to Love. I was in the Bag of the Month Club the previous year, and I did it quarterly, and I had added 4 of her project bags. That was the spring one. And then Elaine Hildebrand asked me, and you, how we would deal with anchoring our thread if we were stitching 1 over 1. My suggestion would be using an away knot or a waist knot, they call it. And then making sure that you position that so that you're going to be stitching over your tail as you're going, and then snip it off. And the reverse is true. If you're starting 1 over 1 and you need to anchor it, you can hold your tail.
That's what I do.
To the side. And stitch over it as you start.
Yeah.
And then you snip that off when you get 2 or 3 stitches over it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Yeah.
And then there's also there's a knot that I showed in a previous video that quilters use. Somebody gave me the correct name for it. I know. It was called a slide knot, wasn't it?
I know.
But I will look for it, and I'll put a link to that video. Okay. You can check it out and see how it's done. But it's great for something that you don't have many stitches, and it slides your thread down and locks it on the back, and you can snip it off very close to your thread.
Yeah.
So I'll do that, Elaine. So watch for that.
Okay. Elaine Warren, I thought this was really cute. She sent us an email and showed us a picture of her little buddy, her cat, Myron. He loves us too. Look, he's watching us. Isn't that cute? That's too cute. Oh, hi, Myron. Yeah. I can't speak
We speak
cat.
kitty.
Any more?
I do.
Yes, okay.
Actually, Linda McCullough had sent...
oh, wait, I have one more thing. I'm sorry. Shoot. Linda Nassie, she wanted to know, when I was showing that wooden tree that Matt made for us to hang our smalls on, she noticed that I had this basket hanging on there. This was a gift from Liz. She made it for me. And she noticed this and thought it was just adorable and wanted to know where she could purchase the basket with a stitched top.
Okay. This basket I got at a Hirschner sidewalk sale. And it actually is from a kit that Lori Birmingham used to sell. These baskets came with it. And then she had top patterns. I picked up these baskets. This topper was either her kit or I found the pattern in a magazine as a basket topper. But I've been out on eBay to check after you had emailed that question. And there are still some Lori Birmingham kits out on eBay.
Good.
As of 2 weeks ago, when you first got the email,
we should have shown
on one of our videos that didn't post, and then we forgot to talk about it. So look around for Lori Birmingham's kits, and you'll find it. Or look for basket toppers and see if anything from Leisure Arts magazines come up, because I think that might have been a Leisure Arts magazine that I pulled that from.
Gotcha. Okie dokie. Thank you.
That it? Linda had sent me a note, and this kind of goes into viewer's point of view.
Okay.
I wanted to show what she had done with her bunnies.
Oh, yes.
She was watching, and she sent an email saying that she happened to be watching as she was stitching, and she was stitching her bunnies, and we were talking about even weave and uneven weave in our Did You Know series. And she happened to be stitching a bunny on a piece of uneven weave, and it became very noticeable when she finished them. So she sent us this picture, and it is noticeable. The sweet pea Lottie, oh, that's a better picture sideways. The sweet pea Lottie Da in the middle was on uneven weave, and you can see it's a little wider proportioned than it is tall, and it just distorted it ever so slightly and made it a little bit fatter. The other sampler hair in the background is pretty standard size, and then she also did a stand-up with the spring hair, I think was the pattern, and she put the alphabet for it on the back of the stand-up, and she did it following Vanna's tutorial on stand-ups. So that was really neat that she shared that.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And how she did that alternate position. This will show you just a little bit better the the difference in the difference
changed.
in the portions of
There you go.
the two bunnies. And I just want to tell Linda, I hope it's a little sunny today over there in England, because it was pretty rainy, she said.
Very, very cute. And another viewer's point of view, Danette Hutchinson, she says that, you know, when you were talking about how you tag your bags now, she uses plastic bobbins to tag her projects. As long as she doesn't use like a Sharpie marker, then it'll come off with alcohol and she can reuse it again. She also uses it to label her thread as to which project the thread has been pulled for. And she said it works great. So that's another idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Let's see.
Okay.
I wanted to ask a viewer that we've been in touch with before, Samantha, down in North Carolina. Where can I find
She sent, oh my gosh, they were
the
so yummy.
lemon cream filled biscuits by Baker's, and they're called Nutty Crust Oat Biscuits.
She sent us a box of stitching goodies. We had so much fun eating and stitching. That was great.
And so
oh my
I
gosh.
would very much like to find those cookies. Thank you. And my
We
taste
split
buds,
them all,
thank you.
and Liz came out. She was like, "Do you have any more of these left?"
Deb says, which ones? I said, yep. Especially the lemon ones and the nutty ones. But that was, I did do a search and I found that they exist, but I couldn't find where to get them. So if you can tell me, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then, oh, I'm going to tell about something.
Oh, okay.
There's no category for this one, except Liz figured it out and wants to share it. And it has nothing to do with stitching. I came up with a summer treat, and Deb tasted it when she was over at my house last week.
Yeah.
She had the lemon cream version. I like the heads and tails version, although Oreos doesn't make heads and tails anymore. But if you like Oreo cookies and you like Oreo ice cream and you want just a light treat for summer, take your Oreo, whichever variety you like, take a melon baller, put a scoop of vanilla ice cream in there, put it together, put it in the freezer. It's the perfect size. It's just an awesome ice cream sandwich.
It is.
And leave the cream inside. Or as my granddaughter said, she kept asking me when she was here, Carly, she would say, Mom, can I have an Oreo? Let's see, after lunch or after dinner. And then she'd get her Oreo. And I noticed after asking several times, she would set it down and she wouldn't eat it. And I thought, wow, that's self-control, right? What's she saving it for? I keep my eye on that Oreo.
She
I
doesn't
don't
take
know
after
where
Grandma at all.
Nope. I don't sit it down. So then she came to me after having an Oreo and she said, Mom, can I have another Oreo? I said, did you eat that? She said, I only like the soft part.
Oh.
So what she does is she unscrews it, eats the fondant out of the inside, and then puts the
gosh.
hard parts. I don't know what she actually did with the hard part. But then I said, you really only like the filling? And she said, well, I can eat the hard part, but I like the soft part.
Oh, that's cute. That's like people who eat cake, but they don't eat the cake, they eat the icing.
Yes.
Yeah. But
So anyway.
I made you can get the chocolate with the raspberry inside Oreos.
Yes.
And then instead we put in chocolate ice cream.
Oh,
I love
chocolate.
chocolate.
Chocolate. Yes.
I mean, chocolate and more chocolate and more chocolate. Amen. That was really good.
I'll bet it was.
Very good.
Have you had Turkey Hill's Belgian chocolate ice cream?
No.
Boy,
Good?
is that rich. Yes. And it's a darker flavor. That I thought of you when I tasted
dark
it.
chocolate is the best.
That would be good on those too.
So good.
So, melon baller, ice cream, and an Oreo.
Sandwiches. There you go. Done.
Yep. It's good stuff. Before we leave the comment section, and we might throw things in as we go because we're trying to go back and pick up what we left out.
Yeah, and who knows if you get one or two videos.
Yeah, we'll see what
It's a crapshoot.
what the YouTube gods think about us today. The one thing I wanted to say was Faye Riggsbee. If any of you have met Faye, you know that she's just an incredibly sweet person. We met her at the Primitive Stitcher Society retreat in Harrisburg last year, and she did some finishing for me. She slipped and had an accident, fell and broke her arm and shattered her elbow.
Ugh.
So she's going to be having that repaired, I think they said Saturday. So I just like to ask you to lift her in prayer.
Yeah.
And maybe send her a note.
Yeah,
Let her
our
know
thoughts
you're
and
thinking
prayers are
of her.
with you, Faye.
Yes.
Aw.
All right.
Real quick, I think it was from iStitch, but she had a question about fabric. She has some old factory creased fabric that, you know how I can get that crease that just will not go away.
Yes.
You can wash it, you can iron it, and it'll decrease the crease, but it won't go away.
Yep.
So she was wondering if we had any ideas to get rid of that crease. And we both thought of...
Best Press.
Yes.
Yeah. And we got introduced to Best Press from Vanna's video, is where I first saw it. It's not a spray, and I think Vicky said she can't use spray starches because of her...
Oh, aerosol. Gotcha.
Yeah,
right.
It's not aerosol.
Yeah,
it's a pump.
It's a pump, yeah.
So I think it would be okay for you. And it has a way, it has enough sizing in it that it tends to take care of some of that. But I certainly would think that if it's a really strong crease, you might need to do the washing and the ironing prior to, and use the Best Press when you're doing the ironing component of that. But it's worked for me.
Yeah. Oop. We know what that is.
Yeah, if you are just tuning in with us for the first time, we give away a stitchy surprise to subscribers, and we call it Subscriber Tribute. And today,
all right,
what do we have?
Today, our subscriber tributes. Noreen Kilby, you will be getting a really cool, it's from Val's Stuff. It's called Santa's Watching, and it's the entire perforated paper kit. So you'll get the perforated paper, the felt, and you even get the little eye button. So you could do a little bit of Christmas in July stitching.
Yes.
And then from Erica Michaels, you'll be getting the Holly Sampler.
Now, is that the cross stitch or the silk gauze?
This one here?
It's the silk gauze kit.
Silk gauze.
And the silk gauze is in there.
Okay. So thank you very much, Noreen Kilby. Please get a hold of us.
Yes.
We have our emails listed, or you can private message on Instagram, however you want to get a message to us, your physical address, and we'll get that out to you. And Lucky Cat Stitches, you will be receiving Where Your Treasure Is. It's a wedding anniversary sampler. Really pretty. I like the colors too, and this is pretty how they have it done as a banner. And from Shepherd's Bush, it's called Be Calm.
That's a Christmas one, right?
Not pretty?
Is that a holiday one?
It doesn't remind me of Christmas.
Not. Okay.
No.
Just Victorian sort
Yeah,
of.
it's really pretty. Very pretty colors.
Lucky Cat Stitches is a Flosstuber. She hasn't put a new video out in a little while, but you might want to check out her Flosstube channel.
Yes, and thank you again for subscribing. We really appreciate it. I also at this time want to announce the winner of the Flosstube game from last time. Cynthia MC.
Cynthia Mick, Amity Vintage
and Craft.
Yes.
It's a long one.
It is.
You won the game, and you'll be receiving this pattern. So if you can, again, send us your address, we'll get that out to you.
And the video was video 23, Kathy Haberman's.
23 or 25. I had it written down somewhere. I just threw my notes.
And we had both people.
But
if you responded 23 or 25, I counted both of them when I did the drawing.
Yeah, because y'all had the name right.
But it was Kathy's, yes. Yep.
All right. Thank you for subscribing and for playing.
Yes. Let's see. We have some... Do you want to do this first?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
We got...
Love this.
We got an email from Barbara, also known as Nevada Stitcher. And she was in our round robin. That's where we first met her. And you may have heard her name mentioned here because she also got one of our adoption pieces. The first one I ever gave away here, Courage. It was a pillow. She sent us a finish on her round robin that is just so unique.
Awesome.
And I'm going to show you several pictures because...
I want to do mine this way now.
I do too. I said to her in my response that this makes me want to do round robin too.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do it again.
I'm sure everybody who stitched the round robin is going to feel the same way about how unique this is.
Yeah.
Whoops. Didn't mean to make it that big. But that's a drum that she put together. And I'll show you each of the components that's in her.
So there were 4? Was there 4 sections?
Yes. This is the third.
Awesome.
So she had a group just like the rest of us with 4. And she chose to do it laid out vertically instead of horizontally as a bell pull. She did it vertically and then put it into this drum. And quite remarkable finishing too.
Oh, yeah.
I just really like that. And the color she chose for the top is really pretty.
So I have a question. Did she say, I'm trying to remember, did you have this idea in mind from the very beginning? Or did it kind of come to you?
Yeah, let us know.
I want to know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. I love it.
And then I had a couple of photos here of some people who sent in peyote patterns that they were doing along with the peyote tutorial.
Sweet.
This one is a change in colors. They were working on it while they were watching the video, and they sent that in. It's a little fuzzy, but you can see they've got a blue background instead of a beige, and then they're different diamonds, and it looked like it was going pretty well for them. And then this one was an email from 2 ladies who bought everything they needed for it, and then they picked a Saturday, and then they got together, and they sat down, and they did it together. And they filled in their diamonds. I did mine as an outline on my pattern, and they did theirs in solid colors, and then they each had their own color palette too. So thank you very much. It's a lot of fun to see the different things that people are doing with their pieces.
Very cool.
Yes.
All right.
I think that covers our what we forgot. And now we're at our what we're working on.
Okay. So let's see. I have 2 finishes, stitching finishes, so I'll show you those later. So I was able to get back into working on my parchment tapestry from Rosewood Manor. And I will be stitching all of the tapestry part. I'm going to leave off the alphabet for this as I'm doing it now, because I'm going to have it framed and hung on the wall. And I will stitch this alphabet because it's adorable, but I'll put it on something else. This is being stitched on a 36 count Winter's Brew. And, uh-oh, watch out, Liz. It's coming your way.
Okay.
I have it on my floor stand, so it's a lot of frame right now, but this is what I have so far. And once again, with my border, it's going very quickly as I stitch that because I'm not doing cross stitches. I'm just doing satin stitches for all of this green. The colors are really beautiful. I am using all of the called for colors. Shocker, but I am. And I also got out another one that you haven't seen in a while. Oops.
I can't wait to get mine out. It was funny because I pulled this out. I told her I pulled mine out last week because I'm waiting on a new stand and it arrived. I'm waiting on the stretcher bars right now. When I get that, I'm going to show it to you because it's a really different kind of stand for me with my back. I'm hoping it's going to make it more pleasurable to stitch on my large pieces.
Yeah. So these are the Prairie Schooler patterns, the alphabet. And okay, so this is on 32 count even weave over 1. And what we're doing, Liz and I are both going to be doing it the same way. We're doing it 3 blocks wide by 9 long, right? Is that okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
It would be. It has an ampersand in the one, so it makes it work out perfectly. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, my A, B, and C are finished, and I'm almost finished with my D. I just have to finish this eagle down here. But even though they're little, these are large. This is a lot of stitching. I mean, because this is all over 1.
Well, they look little, but they're full-size patterns on the Prairie Schooler.
Yeah. And almost full coverage.
Yes.
Almost. I mean, that's a lot of stitching. Mostly DMC. But what I did do when I went through and looked at each pattern, I kind of figured out...
We did that in the hotel, remember?
Yeah, and I figured out where I wanted to use some variegation and where I was okay with the DMC. So mostly it's the DMC called for colors, but then I chose a handful of variegated colors that I wanted to use instead of the DMC. So and what I did was I just listed on here, like if this is used bricks by Classic Colorworks, and it's a substitution for the number 3857. So I have all that information here. So when the pattern calls for 3857, I know that I'm going to use this one instead. So that's how I'm doing that. And I'm going to put that back on my lap stand, because if I don't get it out and work on it a little bit at a time, I'll never get it finished, and I know exactly where it's going to go. So unfortunately, it's probably going to be one of those forever projects, but that's okay. It'll get done when it gets done.
Yeah, well, it's not like you have forever projects that actually haven't gotten done yet. I mean, you do complete them pretty quick.
That makes me feel better.
Even that mystery sampler, I mean, that was horrendous size, and you had that done in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean...
Well, that's true. It's okay.
You did it every day. You worked on it a little bit. Well, for the most part.
Yeah.
We might have been a couple of days.
Yeah.
3.
A whole 3. So I did that. I worked on those, and then... Oh. Liz, did you do your homework?
I did. I just didn't want to show you up. I gave you a head start.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad.
I'll bring mine along after she catches up. I worked ahead.
Oh, you're funny, honey. All right, so I am not completely up to date.
She says that to make me feel better.
But again, our band samplers that we are working on and doing it as a stitch along with our guild, but anyone can do it. It's the iStitch band sampler, Amethyst band sampler. We do have my colors listed, I think, in the last video, because we were asked exactly which colors we were using. Mine are in silk, and they're all listed. So I have this alphabet to finish down here along with the border. So.
And I didn't want the people who aren't current in our guild to feel left out. So I'm working along with that group. Deb's working along with the group that works a little ahead. So we didn't want to be on, leaving anybody out of that.
Yeah, no. That wouldn't be right.
No, it would not. Would not be politically correct.
Yeah.
You mentioned something that brought something to mind now. It's gone.
Went in and out, right? Went in the side, not that side.
Had to do with that. And the
my colors?
Guild colors drop down box. Oh, yes.
It's
someone asked a comment.
Someone asked a comment.
Someone left a comment asking if we were going to give the Humble Bumble Stitchers address. It is there in the drop down box. You just need to go past my description of what Deb bought from Sally, and then you'll see the link. So it is there. So if you left that comment, I can't remember your name, I'm sorry, or if you yourself, another you, wanted to know, it is in the drop-down box. Okay. So take a peek.
The other things I worked on are my finishes, so that was that. That's it.
All right. So I picked up something to move it, which means I forgot to show it already. This bag was made and given to me by my neighbor, Sharon. I wanted to show it because she does really nice work.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it has 2 pockets inside. And I now use it as a combination when I go away with my some of my things from my purse and then my stitchy stuff. And everything's in there in its proper pockets. So, thank you, Sharon.
Alrighty.
This is a piece I've had sitting waiting for me to get my stand because I was having difficulty working on pieces on scroll frames. It's an American Quaker band sampler. It's from Scarlet House. I really liked it. I picked this up when I got Deb's Dorothy Warpole pattern. So I think I showed the border one time when I had just set it up on here, but I got the banner at the top finished, and I took the border down on the one side. I haven't taken it down on the other, and now I get to jump in on the alphabets. That's going to be fun, and it's all DMC. You can get the silk kits from Scarlet House, but I did it in DMC, and there's only maybe 8 colors, I think.
That is pretty.
So that'll be fun.
Really pretty.
Naming conventions always make me scratch my head. They call, and I'll show you in just one second. They call this dark peach, and they call this medium peach. I would not have called it peach anything.
No.
They've named this top section dark peach, and this color used over here medium peach, and it's 3774, I think, and 625. Anyway, to me those are shades of brown. And I looked again at that lighter color, and I guess if you were going to call that peach, you just wanted to call everything peach.
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't look like peach to me. I actually had to go back and read the numbers twice because I was sure I was grabbing the wrong one. Okay. The other two pieces I started working on and continued working on. The one that I'm continuing on was Rhapsody in Blue. I think I showed you one page I started working on. This is by Jackie Duplessis. It's it was an online stitch through Shining Needle Society. Circa 2014, I think, was when it came up on the, should be a date. No, we didn't date anything. 2013, there you go. And it was her first online class. I had not been able to physically get to any of her classes at Salty Yarns when she offered them, and I'd always wanted to take her class. So when this came up, I went running down the hall, Rick, I want to take an online class. And I finished all but the bottom insert. This is the last one I'm working on.
Do you need this paper?
Actually, it's identical to the top piece here, the one I'm working on, but it's the bottom. Yeah, if you want to hold the white one now. It's the bottom insert. And this is what it will look like when it's done. When it grows up, it'll look like that. And then this piece is the pins and pin base, scissor fob, and pin cushion. And then this last one is a tab and a tag and 3 little fronts to pins. I believe those are the front that goes on a flat pin. You're actually making the pins yourself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Over one. Beautiful.
Yep.
Cool.
And now this portion is over 2.
Oh, okay.
The actual top and bottom are over 2, but 1 thread.
Okay.
So anyway,
Very nice.
I am a heartbeat away from finishing this one.
Finish that one, yeah.
And I'm excited because I've never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
And then I have a second anything like that, which is by Patricia